Welcome back. As I said, I'm going to show you how to make this cute little basket. Now the idea of this is, that it is actually two, did I sew this one? I sewed this one together. It's actually two of the same basket. So this was the first one I made because a friend of mine purchased one and bought it back from overseas, and I went, oh, that's such a good idea. So this is made of toweling, and this I used our double muslin and used a little braid, but I've switched it up since then. So if you want it for the bathroom, it's a cute idea to make it out of toweling, but you can make it separately so you can change your inners. So with this one, I've just done a toweling circle and outer, and then I've just used a bit of needle dacron just for a bit of stability, because it doesn't actually have to be stiff. But if you want it to stand up by itself, you could use soft and stable. So anyway, this is going to be the outside of my basket, but I can change and have the inner as any fabric I like. So I've given you the fabric in your notes. So now I make two. I make one longer and one shorter, and I've quilted this one so that I can then have different insides and they can look different. So it's just a really cute thing to do. So this one I have doubled the fabric, but what you can do is you can just have the fabric single, and I've rolled edged it. So you can do anything you like. It doesn't matter how you want to finish it. So this one can go inside this one here, and I've put interfacing on it, but it can go inside any of these, and then you simply roll this down and it just fits over once you've got it on, because they're all the same size, and you just fit it around, and there you've made a cute little basket. So again, this is soft because I haven't used the soft and stable, but it's really cute and you can use it for anything. So it's just a fun thing to do, really. I think they're great. So if I take that one out and I want this one, and I've doubled this fabric, then this one would go in, and I've made it so the fabric is the feature. It's not for this, but I'm just showing you. So they're cute, really cute. So that's all it is. So I've already made the inner, and I'm going to show you how to make the outer. So when you get your pattern, I've got the pattern, the stitching line, and then the cutting line. And so to work out how much fabric you need, once you've cut your fabric, fold it in half, because if you don't know how to make a cylinder fit onto a curve, I'm showing you. So you fold your fabric in half like this. You've got your halfway marks, and you lay it down, and you get a tape measure, and you can work in inches or centimetres. I'm going to work in inches, I think, just to show you, because I can stand this up and you can see my numbers really clearly. So you just get your tape measure and you work it around, and you work it all the way around, and that is 10 inches for half a circle. So you double that for 20 inches, and then you're going to add a ½ an inch seam allowance or an inch. If you want a ½ an inch seam allowance, then you want to add 1 inch. So I'm going to cut my fabric 21 inches long. So here's a piece of fabric here, and I'm going to move that, and I'm going to cut my fabric 21 inches long. So there it is there. Now I'll just move that out of the road, get my little cutting board. There's my nip, there's my ruler, there's my cutter, and somewhere there, and I'm going to cut this 20 inches. There we are. So now I know I'm going to have a ½ an inch seam. Wow, great cutting, Robin. There we go. Now I haven't finished this edge off because I want to show you another thing you can do with the number 10 foot. So here's my number 10 foot. You know I love it. It's great. So this time I'm going to turn this over very narrow, just like that. And if you want to, you can iron it. It's not a silly idea, but I don't normally, but I'll just show you because it is quite clever to do that. So you can just iron it just a little bit like that, but I'm not going to. I'm going to put my sew table on and I'm just going to sew it. So this is one way you can edge stitch something if you don't have a overlocker or you're not going to line something, you can do this edge. So basically you're just turning it over just a little bit. You're going to hold, this time I want to bring up the bobbin thread. So I'm going to put my foot down and my needle down once and back up. And I'm going to bring up my bobbin thread because I want to hold both threads to start. And I'm going to turn this over and I'm going to put my needle down into the fabric. Now, I've already put it across. So now I'm just going to sew. I'm going to put it further across. I'm going to go to 5. And I'm just going to do that. And now what I'm going to do is hold my thread till it starts going. And then I'm just going to stitch it. And I'm just going to just gently roll that over. Really clever, this. I'm doing white thread so you can see it. But this is a really nice way of finishing off the edge of a fabric if you don't have a rolled hemming foot or an overlocker or you're not lining it. So just a nice narrow little fold, or you can iron it first, or you could glue it. I don't bother, I just stitch it because it's not important, this first row. So you can see the edge stitch foot's doing all my work because I'm running the bar along the edge. Needle up, leave a tail because you want to have a tail. Now this time you can see I've just basically gone straight across there. Now I'm going to roll it over again so you can't see my raw edges, and I'm stitching it in the same, basically the same place. So this time I'm rolling it again and I'm getting a second row, but you'll only see one row on the outer. It's really good. It's a really nice little finish. So I use my edge stitch foot a lot. And now I'm going to sew my 1/2 inch seam, so I'm going to put my normal foot back on. So I'm going to push clear here to clear it and put my foot back on so it's centre needle position. I'm going to take this off. I'll take that off. And I'm going to put my seams together and cut my threads. Oh, and I've got my basket way over there. Bring my basket back. I've got 2 baskets, look at that. 2 baskets made out of thread. And just put a pin to hold that top piece. Now when you're going to be sewing on something that's right on the edge, I start in and I go backwards. So I start here, a 1/2 inch seam, and I go backwards first. Then I know it's tidy. Now take the pin out, do not sew over a pin. If you've got an overlock stitch or an overlocker, you can overlock those seams if you wish. You could overlock them together if you like, or you can press them open. That's kind of, you can decide what you'd like to do. If you're going to be doing the overlock stitch on your sewing machine, it's stitch number 3, and the machine will change it to foot number 2, but unfortunately I forgot to bring it here. So mine's not going to have it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to halve this here, and I'm going to put a pin in it, and then I'm going to put my halfway mark to my seam and get my quarter marking. So one pin there and one pin there and get my quarter marking, and then I'm going to find my circle here, and remember I've already got my halfway marks, so now I'm going to put the halfway mark and get the quarter mark. There, and the halfway mark together to get my other quarter mark, so that everything fits. Now you can decide if you want the circle on the base or on the top to sew. Everyone is different and you can do it any way you like, but basically you need your right sides together. So you're going to put the right side together, you're going to match up the pins, take one pin out and put it through 2 layers of fabric. Take one pin away, get your next pin, there to there, put it through, take a pin out. Your seam, you'd have these open, and the pin through there, and then your last pin will go to the pin to pin. Now you would think that would not fit, so all you do now is you just very gently bring this up to match like that, so you've got your edges together, and put a pin in between your quarter markings. So just roll it up like that and put a pin in your quarter markings, and roll this one up and put a pin in that quarter marking. Oh, use the pins up there, and then roll this up and put another pin in there. Now if you've measured it wrong and you think you're going to end up with a tuck, you can clip this back one to make more room. Now some people like to sew it this way around, I like to sew it this way around, so everyone is different, so you do whatever you like. So when I'm doing it, I'm just going to put my foot on the edge there, and I'm going to go forward and reverse. Oh, forgot to put it back to straight sewing. Here we go. So I'm just going to sew. I'm going to stop at my pin, take my pin out, rearrange my fabric so that I know I'm not going to get any tucks. Use my knee control, sew a little bit more. See how it's nice and I'm sewing like a flat piece? Very easy. So I find it easier to do this way. Other people find it easier to do it with the other opposite way around. Honestly, whatever works for you. But I can see and make sure I don't get any tucks this way, you see? So if I feel that's a little bit tight, then I just lift this up and I move my fabric around. So everyone, each to their own. Honestly, it really doesn't matter. And if you feel it's too tight, then you can clip the back one. But I just walk the fabric around basically. See, just feed it along, coming to here. Oh, there's a bit extra fabric. Feed it along, needle down, and work your way around. It'll just work. It's crazy. It just works. So by the time you get to the next pin, you shouldn't have any excess fabric. So see here, it looks like it is, but you just pull that up, and by the time you stitch it, don't have a tuck, Robin, or you'll be fibbing. There. See, you just stretch it out and it just works. And guess what? It's going inside anyway. See, it just stretches out. It's crazy. It amazes me every time. Oops, I took the pin out too soon, didn't I? Work your way around. Make sure there's no tuck there. Now, if you get to here and you feel like, oh, it really isn't going to work, you either just give it a little stretch, or if you were really worried you could clip the underneath one to make more room, I'm not going to worry because I don't think it's a problem. It just seems to work. But when you first do it, you're like, oh, is it really actually going to work? So here's my last bit, and this is when you can tell if it's worked, if there's no tucks when you come round to this one. This is where I'm joining it up. And needle up. Now, when you go to put it in, you can see here, you've got your nice flat piece. You really could overlock that if you wanted to, so it's all nice and tidy. So then you've got it all nice through all the washing. Now, what you can do now is get your outer, and you don't even have to turn this in the right way. You just put it inside, pretend that's all overlocked, and you just bring this over, and if you wanted it permanently there, we did think the other day when we were doing them, you could stitch through that there and then it would stay in, but I don't think you want them permanent because I would want to change them. But look how seriously cute that is. I reckon they're adorable. So I wouldn't even bother, I'd just have it like that. So there you can see you've got your little basket. So you can either have it for something for your sewing room, or you can go and put your little things like this in, but I like that one for the bathroom because it's white and it's pretty. The other thing I think this would be really, really nice, and I've just had 2 new granddaughters, is to put the face wipes I've made in them. So I think that could be a really lovely gift for the face wipes, and then they've got them. So I might send this one over to Australia to our new granddaughter, and her mum can put all her little face wipes in them. And they're machine washable, so they're great. So yeah, that's just a fun little thing I thought you might like to do. Oh, this one can go in this one. Look, I can have it in this one. This could be for the sewing room. And I've quilted this, I've just cross-hatched it around the bikes. And I could have this one in here because the other one was a bit deep. So I'll make a higher one for that one. Yep, that one's going to live on that one. That's cute. There we are. Cute. See, so it's just cross-hatched first before I started, and I cross-hatched the base. And I just went around the bikes. I didn't do it even, I just went around the bike so it looked really cute. So there you go. There's another fun little thing that you can do. And you can make them for anybody and for any reason, whatever you'd like to do, and you could put a gift in that as well. Could actually be a gift basket for birthdays and Christmas. So yeah, there we go. A whole year already gone. I have a million ideas in my head for next year. So I hope you'll join me for Bernina Club 2025. Sounds ridiculous, but I'm very excited about it, and it's good that I'm still excited about it. So I'd like to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I'll see you in my studio next year.